my friends, and welcome back to my channel, Minimum Player Account. I'm Stephanie, and today we are taking a look at Duffers, the golf-inspired deck building game. This is a game for 1 to 4 players and plays around 60 to 90 minutes. So this is also one of TGG's first games that they have come out with. So I'm very excited to share this with you. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I think it's important to cover how to win this game before we go into details of how to play. So the main goal of Duffers is to complete as many holes as possible, or all holes if you can, and have the least amount of strokes. So just like in golf, you want to be under par. In order to complete a hole, you will have to play cards to match the amount of yardage that is shown on that hole. You can complete holes at random. There is no order to how you have to complete the holes, but you do want to make sure that you're matching the yardage, which can be over 50 yards. If you are over more than 50 yards, you have missed the hole, so you cannot actually attempt that one. And you're trying to match or be under the amount of strokes required. You can be over the amount of strokes as well, but that does count as negative points against you towards the end. Once you complete a hole, you will place one of your player pieces on that applicable hole, and if there are any cards available, you will see all the cards that are there and choose one to keep in your hand. Now moving on to the cards that you start with. So when you start this game, every person has the same 10 cards in their hand. Those cards are 3 whiff cards and 7 chip shot cards. The whiff cards are important because when those are in your hand and you're attempting to complete a hole, you have to add the number of whiff cards or strokes. So every whiff card adds 1 stroke to your game. So if you have a hand of 5 cards and you're using 3 of them to complete a hole, the other 2, you know for a fact those 2 whiff cards will add 2 more strokes to your game, which can be detrimental to your playing endgame. The chip shot cards are great starting cards because they have options for you, just like on all the cards in Duffers. You have the option of credits, which can be used to purchase cards, or yardage, which can be used to make holes. All chip shot cards have 1 stroke on them, so it will add 1 stroke to your game, but if you're that close to making a hole, it could be worth it to have this card played. The display is where you're able to purchase cards from Duffers. The display has 5 cards available for each player to purchase from. You will play cards with their credits to buy the applicable card with those credits. Another option for you is at the bottom of your play table, you have these stacks of 3-putt, broken tee, and vintage driver. Those cards are usually cheaper and can be helpful. For example, the broken tees, I know when you have 2 of them, they reduce 1 stroke from your final game, so collecting those would be very essential, especially if you're over. There are a limited amount of these cards available, so once they are gone, there is no more available for the rest of the game. The 3 putts are available as well. The 3 putt is essential because anytime you attempt to complete a hole, you have to have a putt card in your hand. So the option of being able to buy that putt card is great because sometimes you cannot get putt cards in the display. So you can purchase those cards to help you, but a disadvantage with those cards is there's no extra yardage for them, and it adds 3 strokes to your game. So that is a lot, especially in a game like this when you're trying to be under strokes. But if you're kind of having to decide, it could be helpful for you. The other 2 stacks of cards that I'm going to explain to you that are in the stacks section are the luck cards, and luck cards can be good or bad. You do not know until you flip them over. The other stack I want to talk about is the Duff cards. The Duff cards are all bad. Some cards will say if played, or somebody can force a Duff card on you. With other cards, they are permanent additions to your hand unless you are able to later discard it with another card, but they usually subtract yardage from your hand or add extra strokes and things like that. So you want to try to avoid the Duff cards as much as possible. One awesome thing about this game is you have your own player board. And on these player boards, you'll be holding your pieces that are little golf balls with your numbers on them. And also you're able to save a card. That is a very handy thing in this game, especially because to complete any holes, you need a putt card. Also, when you complete holes, there are options A, B, C that you will start unlocking as you complete the game further on that will give you extra abilities or extra options for you, which is also very cool. But let's move on to final thoughts so I can give you my thoughts on this game. So Duffers, the golf-inspired deck building game. This was very fun for me and my group when we played it because it had a unique theme to it, and I also liked the mechanics that they used. I thought it was very genius how they used the yards and the putts and the strokes to actually complete a game that feels like you're playing golf in a board game. It's just very interesting on how they did that. When I first heard about this game, I was like, I have no idea how you would actually put this theme on a deck building game, but I think they did a very good job with that. I also like the fact that you can choose how many holes to play. Like if you're wanting a quicker game, you can decide to play 3 holes. Also the fact that they have beginner and advanced cards, so when you want to try to do more advanced holes and have different options for your game, that's also very cool. I will also link this game at the bottom for you so you can see the game if you decide you want to purchase it as well in the description below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments for me. I will try to answer those for you. And also, make sure that if you like my videos to like, subscribe, and comment, especially turning on those notifications because I will be having a giveaway soon and I want to make sure that you guys are all involved in it because it is going to be a big giveaway, multiple giveaways, days continuing. So as we get closer to it, I will be putting out a little bit more of, previews and promos for it just to give you a little idea. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.